Hi, I'm Gamal Langa. I would like to present to you information and communication technology in education. During my DIT program, I conducted a presentation entitled The Global Teacher for a group of professional teachers at one government school in Mindanao, entitled The Global Teacher. One teacher asked me this question. With the emerging development of ICT in education, our teachers will be replaced by robots? This question is my key for my presentation today. Before we proceed, let's begin first by understanding what is the objectives of ICT in education in the Philippines. According to Dr. Paz Lucida on its book in Educational Technology 2, the objectives are the following. ICT in education can be used to improve not only instruction but the school management program and curriculum. 2. To engage learners on practical technology integration issues including managing IT classrooms, use of internet for learning, cooperative learning through the use of information technology. 3. Government to weave the education and technology sectors, community groups, and industry in vision to support to the development of the capabilities of school to use information and communication technologies in teaching and learning and in administration. Before we proceed, let's start first by defining what is information and communications technology in education. Let's begin with information. What is information? Information is shortened as info or info period that which inform. It means that which inform or data can be derived. Information is data that has been processed in such a way as to be meaningful to the person who receives it. Let's define what is communication. Communication is from Latin word communicare, meaning to share. Communication is a meaningful transfer of information from one person to another. Communication is the transfer of feelings, ideas, opinions, and emotions between two or more persons. Communication is the sum total of directly and indirectly, consciously and unconsciously transmitted feelings. Communication is a dynamic, ever-changing, unending process by which people transmit information and feelings to others. If we take a look if we take a look on the diagram, you can see that in communication there is a communicator, there is a sender of information or the message, and there is a receiver. Let's take a look what does it mean by technology. Technology came from the Greek word techne, which means craft or art, according to the book of Dr. Brenda Corpus in its Educational Technology 1. Technology is the collection of tools including machinery, modifications, arrangement, and procedure used by humans. Now, let's define what is education. Previously, during my presentation for culture or history of education, I also give this definition. But again, I will going to recap what does it mean by education. Education means to nourish or to raise. To dissect the definition of ICT in education, from information, communication, technology, and education, we can create a definition for ICT in education. ICT in education means is that which informs data can be derived to share the craft or art to nourish or to raise the teaching and learning process. So ICT in education means teaching and learning with ICT. Information and communication technology (ICT) can contribute to the universal access to education, equity in education, the delivery of quality learning, and the teaching. Teachers' professional development and more efficient in education management, governance, and administration. Information and communication technology is an umbrella term that includes any communication device or application encompassing radio, television, cellular phones, computers, and network hardware and software, satellite systems, and so on, as well as the various services and applications associated with them, such as video conferencing and distance learning. ICT are often spoken on the particular context such as ICTs in education, healthcare, or libraries. The term is somewhat more common outside of the United States. Worldwide research has shown that ICT can learn to improve students' learning and better teaching methods. A report made by National Institute of Multimedia Education in Japan proves that an increase in student exposure to educational through a curriculum integration has a significant and positive impact on student achievement, especially in terms of knowledge, comprehension, practical skills, and presentation skills in subject areas such as mathematics, science, and social studies. However, you can see that there are many education technology solutions provided in the world which may cause confusion among educators about how to choose the right ICT solution. Integrating ICT into education seems to be a necessary issue for educators, education administrators in the world. However, if the teachers cannot make good use of ICT tools, the money and time spent on ICT is going to be a waste. Also, if the educational budget is limited, looking for a cost-effective and high-performance ICT tools can be the first priority. Let's take a look at the current DepEd K-12 curriculum on ICT. Grade 4 to 6, Edukasyon, Pantahanan at Pangkabuhayan (EPP) and Technology and Livelihood Education (TLE). Grade 11 and 12, Senior High School Applied Track subject are the current DepEd curriculum on ICT. There are also some list of DepEd orders on ICT you can see on the screen. There are advantages of using ICT in learning and teaching processes. Let's take a look for the students. ICT tools very helpful in that it helps them to do assignments, especially students with special needs or difficulties. Students assume responsibilities, example given, to organize their work through digital portfolios or projects. And for the teachers, there's a lot of advantages for the teachers. ICT has significant impact on teachers and teaching processes. ICT tools stimulates teachers, uses ICT to do tasks such as preparing lessons, sequencing classroom activities, help teachers to work in teams and share ideas related to school's curriculum. Broadband and interactive whiteboards plays a central role in fostering teachers' communication and increasing collaboration between educators. Support innovatively on pedagogy. Through ICT, teachers can easily explain complex instructions and ensure students' comprehension. Through ICT, teachers are able to create interactive classes and make the lesson more enjoyable, which could improve students' attendance and concentration. Of course, there are also disadvantages of ICT. Setting up the device can be very troublesome for some, too expensive to afford, hard for teachers to use with a lack of experience using ICT tools. There are different ICT educations available on the market, like a Blackboard and the Moodle, which is the free um, open source software. Moodle as one um, open source educational software, which is also being used right now in University of the Philippines and even the West Visayas State University. There are also some uh, integrated program for educational technology, like program for the library. Philippine eLib right now is using the Koha program. This is an open source, and there are some also are using right now. Some of the libraries all throughout the Philippines are using the Koha. There is also one open source for managing the library management resources, which is the Bullfind. I will not going to discuss further what is the difference between the two, which is the Bullfind and Koha. My discussion right now is only to give a presentation on ICT only, and this is some of the example on ICT in education. Also, there is also one for teleconferencing right now, developed by Cisco, which is the Webex, but this one is very expensive. This program is a web-based program, and it is available through mobile, available through uh, PC, and of course it is a server-based program. To conclude my presentation, ICT can improve teaching by enhancing an already practiced knowledge and introducing new ways of teaching and learning. Transforming teaching is more difficult to achieve. Changes that takes full advantage of ICT will only happen slowly over time and only if teachers continue to experiment with the new approaches. ICT generally has a positive impact on teaching and learning situations, but compared with the ideal expectations, the impact of ICT on teaching and learning must still be considered to be limited. Technological tools can enhance the quality of teaching and learning in schools and so help learners to achieve better outcomes. ICT allows for higher quality lessons through collaboration with teachers in planning and preparing resources. Students learn new skills, analytical, including improvement in reading comprehension. ICT also develops some writing skills, spelling grammar, punctuation, editing, and redrafting. Still, new technologies encourages independence and active learning, and students' responsibility for their own learning. ICT proves that students who use educational technology feel more successful in school. They are more motivated to learn more and have increased self-confidence and self-esteem. It is also confirmed that many students found learning in a technology-enhanced setting more stimulating and much better than in traditional classroom environment.
Thank you very much for your time for listening my presentation.